Shaking folks, back with another reaction, back with some more Britney Spears, and we're back with more from the Femme Fatale album, and indeed, shout out to Adam, who was sort of on call, if you will. I had started this batch of reactions, and he lives on the other side of the US as me, and he lives on the East Coast, so things get later there before they get late here. And I was wondering, like, oh, I gotta get back to the Britney deep dive, and, what should I go through next? Maybe something from Femme Fatale again, because that's where I've started in the Britney journey. And I just sort of messaged him, hopefully, like, hey, are you awake? If so, I'm wondering. And he messaged me back. He was like, oh, hey, I'm here. Like, what are you looking for? I was like, oh, shoot. So I had already gone ahead and downloaded the first track from the album, which is Till the World Ends, which has a very dramatic sound to it. And he messaged back like, oh, I saw that you grabbed that track. That's definitely one that you can go through. And he mentioned there's another one on the same album. So again, we'll, I suppose, just go through the full album, or at least, if there's like one or two tunes that people are saying aren't worth it. But yeah, generally speaking, once I start going through an album, I have a mind to go through it all. So I suppose we'll do that. Nevertheless, the opening tune of an album is always intriguing to me. What type of track do you start with? Is it something that, either the title track or at least a track that speaks to the concepts or themes of the album as a whole? Is it a tune that just really has a lot of energy and fire and that starts things off? Is it a tune with a long dramatic intro? Ultimately, I'm always curious about placement of songs in an album's chronology, and so the opening tune, always interesting to me. And like I said, Till the World Ends, it's dramatic. It's suggesting that there is some process, some characteristic, some attribute that will persist until the world ends, and ultimately, whether that's an assessment of humanity or if it's an assessment of reality as such, it feels like there might be a bit of opining involved. There might be a bit of, this will always be the case until the world ends. So I wonder if that is the case, how that's directed or what might be at play. Let's find out. This is Britney Spears. The tune is Till the World Ends, and it's the first track on her 2011 album, Femme Fatale.
This kitten got your tongue tied in ecstasy.
Already in like 3 or 4 songs, I've heard more overtly electronic sounds than I thought I would. But that's just my own ignorance. I like that double. Yeah.
DJ, what you waiting for?
Hey. Even saying that about the opening, I didn't think this is what we were leading to. I feel like a number of these lines are there's a double entendre to a number of the lines. It feels like dance floor, but also perhaps late night. I love that transition, that's great. These sort of low bass tones. An acidy bass line in there. feel very personally and strongly about that sentiment.
Keep on dancing till the world ends.
I'm impressed by the cheekiness of the production. It's not like a straightaway standard dance like cookie cutter measure track. Yeah, it's cool, man. Big like double build with a hanging pause followed by like a crescendo drop. Like
See the sunlight, please stop and keep on dancing till the world ends. If you feel it, let it happen. Keep on dancing till the world ends.
again, it's like an inspiring sentiment to me. The idea of, of what we can do in life, like dancing, enjoying music and art, and sharing these experiences with others, and experiencing jubilant celebrations or enjoyments. Basically, the idea of spending life enjoying the finer things of life and each other's company among all the things that we can do, and many of them more destructive and many of them more problematic, or at least not something which is sustainable. The idea of like, hey, wait, like while we're here, until the world stops, why don't we sort of enjoy what we humans are capable of in a more positive sense. So yeah, like without extrapolating too much, what I did here suggests like it was speaking to that like, hey, if you're feeling it, and if you are with people who you enjoy and who you want to be with, then ultimately dancing till the world ends is perhaps one of the better things that you could spend your time doing. So yeah, ultimately what I picked up of the sentiment I really appreciate and sympathize with. But like I said, sonically it's cool. Again, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just because I heard the songs I knew of hers going into this, and even those are, I haven't heard them in years probably. But some of her very early stuff, I feel like it was a bit more kind of like pop rocky, or like overtly like pop, not so much electronic four to the floor dance floor. So just in these handful of tunes. Now I realize this is 2011, so what she did in the 90s is not necessarily relevant to what she's doing in the early 2010s, but ultimately there could be continuity, heritage, even if it's just a fact of my ignorance again, that I didn't have a sense of who she was as an artist beyond things that broke through, which is, I suppose, a testament to her impact back then, in the sense that like in the mid to late 90s, I was into techno and punk rock shows, and I was listening to like no radio music. I still was aware of how big she was, and what the sort of amount of radio play and MTV play and so on that she was getting. So yeah, it's a testament to like how far she broke through, that someone like me who was focused on very different musical avenues was still aware. But ultimately, yeah, I enjoy that like apparently we're gonna get more electronic dance floor sounds, even again acidic 303 style basses, whether or not that was actual an actual 303 or one of its clones. But yeah, cool production and not cookie cutter. As I said, sometimes you hear a house track, and even if it has enjoyable elements, or it's like a pleasant tune, nothing wrong with it, sometimes it's like there's nothing that stands out. There's no eccentric or idiosyncratic production. There's no like bending of the like measure, like bar rules, in terms of like, oh, they added an extra 4 there before they brought in the next measure. Like there's no extra creativity. But this one felt like it was, there was care and consideration taken into how some of the like build-ups and drops unfolded, some of the production techniques, which I love a good dead pause, and a lot of side trance and like goa trance, you get those moments where the last 4 of a measure all the breath just comes out of the tune, and it maybe hangs for longer than the next measure should have started, and then it'll come in, and like just that unexpected moment can like really hit. So yeah, it seems like her production, and presumably, you know, she's working with a lot of people, I imagine, on these albums. I feel like all solo artists tend to work with a lot of different people. So but yeah, I mentioned it before, when I'm babbling after a track, it tends to be a good sign that the tune made a big impression on me, because I'm searching for the right words, and I'm throwing like more and more words at it to try to get a sense for how I'm feeling. So again, I think that's a good